There are no accidents in the realm of the Spirit. If you're watching this message right now, it's not a coincidence. This moment, this exact second, is a divine appointment. Heaven has orchestrated this connection because what's coming into your life is too powerful, too transformational, and too sacred to be missed. You may not fully grasp the weight of what is about to unfold, but make no mistake. He's heard your prayers whispered in the quiet hours of the night. He's watched you endure, grow, and rise. And now is the time when everything begins to shift. This is a divine announcement. The Spirit is stirring, the heavens are aligning, and God's blueprint for your life is moving into motion with unstoppable force. Chosen one, prepare yourself. Something holy is coming your way. Let's begin. Something sacred is stirring in the atmosphere. A divine momentum is building, and as we approach April 4th, we stand at the edge of a spiritual threshold, one that leads directly into the heart of God's master plan. It is a divinely appointed moment, a portal in time where heaven intersects with earth. For those who have been waiting, hoping, praying, your season of delay is ending. A supernatural shift is already in motion. Even now, you may feel a quiet, insistent pull within your soul. An unshakable sense that change is near. That's not a coincidence, and it's certainly not your imagination. That's the breath of God moving over your life. It's the stirring of destiny, the signal that divine alignment is unfolding. You are not meant to miss this moment. Every experience, every closed door, every unanswered prayer has been leading to this. For years, perhaps, you've walked through valleys, faced walls, endured seasons where the heavens seemed silent. But in the unseen, God was working. He was orchestrating every detail with care, preparing the path ahead so that when the time came, your time, it would be unstoppable. Now, as the divine clock strikes this sacred hour, that season has arrived. Doors that once refused to budge are about to swing open with force. Barriers are falling, delays are being dismantled, and what once felt impossible will suddenly become your reality. This isn't a gradual unfolding, it's a breakthrough. Swift, unrelenting, miraculous. You are stepping into a chapter where the things you only dared to dream are now becoming tangible. Prayers once whispered in private are about to be answered in public. The favor of God is moving like a mighty wind, clearing paths, making room, and pouring out blessing after blessing. Not because you earned it, but because you endured. Because in the silence you remained faithful. And now the reward is here. This divine moment isn't only about personal transformation, it's about positioning. God is placing you exactly where you need to be, at exactly the right time. Every connection, every opportunity, every open door has divine fingerprints on it. You're being ushered into a new season where grace accelerates progress and faith manifests fruit. The pace will surprise you, the shift will overwhelm you, and the blessing will confirm everything you once believed by faith. So get ready, chosen one. Heaven is no longer whispering, it's declaring. The countdown has begun and your time is now. Don't doubt, don't delay. Stand in full expectation because what God is about to do in your life is not small, it is monumental. It's not just a blessing, it's a turning point. This is the unfolding of God's master plan, and you are not a bystander. You are at the center of it. Get ready to walk through doors you didn't knock on, to receive answers you didn't chase, to live in promises you once only envisioned. The divine shift is here, and it's bringing with it everything you've been waiting for and more. God is a God of patterns, not of randomness. He moves in divine sequences, unfolding his plans in sacred stages designed to prepare, elevate, and empower his chosen ones. What you are about to walk through is not just a blessing, it's a complete transformation. It will shift the very fabric of your identity and launch you into the life you were always meant to live. This journey unfolds in 5 powerful phases, each one lifting you higher into your divine purpose and unlocking deeper layers of the calling upon your life. The first phase is a sudden and undeniable rise in wealth, power, and influence. This elevation will not be slow or subtle. It will come like a wave crashing onto the shores of your life, fast, overwhelming, and breathtaking. Doors that remain locked for years will swing open effortlessly. Opportunities you only dreamed of will manifest before your eyes. You will find yourself in rooms you never thought you'd enter, seated at tables prepared for you by God Himself. God is placing you exactly where you need to be to carry out your mission. The wealth that flows to you is not merely a gift. It is a divine resource meant to fuel your assignment. You are being established as a pillar of light in your community, a voice of hope, a reflection of God's abundance in a world starved for meaning. As the outer world begins to shift, the second phase begins to stir within you. This phase is spiritual awakening. Your senses will heighten. What once seemed ordinary will become radiant with divine meaning. You'll begin to hear what others cannot, feel what others miss, and sense the quiet whisper of the Spirit even in chaos. The veil between heaven and earth will grow thin, and you will begin to see through spiritual eyes. People will be drawn to your peace, unaware that what they're encountering is the presence of God resting upon you. Animals, children, even strangers will sense the sacred atmosphere around you. It is not your imagination. It is the Holy Spirit refining your discernment. You are becoming a vessel of empathy, wisdom, and divine insight, a lighthouse in the storm, a spiritual guide for those still wandering in darkness. The third phase marks a global and spiritual reckoning. As the world continues to shake, you will begin to witness the collapse of systems built on deception. Corrupt institutions, false narratives, and hollow spiritual movements will start to crumble. This is God's divine disruption, but while others are shaken, you will rise. You will emerge as a bearer of truth that liberates, restores, and brings light to what was hidden. People will look to you, not because you sought attention, but because the truth you carry resonates. You are part of a new priesthood, set apart, refined by fire, and chosen to lead in an age of awakening. The fourth phase is divine clarity. At last you will understand. The pain, the detours, the unanswered prayers, they all served a purpose. Everything will click into place. You'll know why you were set apart, why your journey looked different, and why certain doors had to remain closed until now. Your purpose will no longer feel distant or abstract. It will be your daily reality. With the power, resources, and divine insight you now carry, you will build, lead, heal, and restore. You will not just live out your purpose, you will ignite purpose in others. Your very presence will be transformational. Finally, the fifth and most critical phase arrives: divine leadership in the midst of global upheaval. As the world enters deeper uncertainty, economic tremors, political unrest, environmental crises, the chosen will not cower, they will rise. You will walk in a peace that surpasses all understanding. While the world searches for answers, you will speak with divine clarity. While others cling to fear, you will operate from unwavering faith. You won't lead with force, you will lead with purpose. You won't seek platforms, you'll seek impact. This will not be a collapse, it will be a holy reset. And God has positioned you at the center of it, not by accident, but by design. You are not being sent to survive these days. You are being equipped to shape them, to illuminate, to guide, to carry hope into chaos. The transformation has already begun. You are not who you were, and who you are becoming is exactly who the world needs. Chosen one, step forward. Heaven is watching. All across the earth, something extraordinary is happening. A divine stirring is awakening hearts, calling forth a generation of chosen ones, individuals marked by purpose, purified through trials, and anointed to carry light into the darkest corners of the world. This awakening is not isolated to one nation or people. It is global, spiritual, and unstoppable. From distant villages to crowded cities, from every culture, language, and background, voices are rising, resonating with the same sacred call. You are not alone in your calling. You are part of a divine collective, a spiritual family knit together not by blood or geography, but by destiny. This unity that is forming is unlike anything the world has seen. It transcends borders, race, and tradition. It is the work of the Holy Spirit, building a global army of light bearers, truth carriers, and agents of divine change. In this sacred moment, your light is not meant to shine in isolation. It is meant to connect, to combine, to become part of something far greater than the sum of its parts. As each chosen one steps into their role, a ripple of transformation spreads outward, creating waves of revival and revelation. Together, this rising collective becomes unstoppable. A holy revolution is unfolding, built not on violence or politics, but on truth, justice, love, and spiritual power. It is a movement that cannot be silenced because it is powered by heaven itself. This is the new era of divine leadership, not one of control, but of restoration, not driven by ego, but by mission. The world is crying out for change, and God is answering through you and others like you who are ready to step forward in courage and faith. You are not just witnessing this movement, you are a pioneer within it. Your gifts, your voice, your light, they are essential. As you align with others walking the same divine path, you'll discover strength, clarity, and purpose beyond what you could have known alone. This is your moment to rise, not just as an individual, but as part of a powerful, spirit-led collective destined to shift the course of history. The chosen ones are rising, and together, they will light up the world. Heaven has assigned angels to your cause, and they have been working tirelessly in the background, guiding your steps, shielding your soul, and preparing the path ahead. You see, nothing in your journey has been random. Every closed door was divine protection. Every heartbreak was holy redirection. What looked like a setback was, in truth, a setup being prepared for your comeback. You may not have seen the hand, but you've surely felt the shift. That's the invisible current of grace, the evidence that you are not walking alone. You are being led step by step by a power far greater than your understanding. And though you've had to walk through seasons of mystery and silence, those seasons were never wasted. They were divine classrooms, equipping you for a future that is just now unfolding. Every encounter, every opportunity, every escape from what could have broken you, that was the unseen hand of heaven moving with precision. You are not simply fortunate, you are favored. There is a holy hedge around your life, woven by divine intention, and it's been there all along. What others might interpret as coincidence is actually God's perfect choreography. Now, as you step into your next season, carry this truth with you. You are not moving forward by your own strength. You are being positioned, prepared, and empowered by the one who knows the end from the beginning. The same power that created the stars has commissioned you for purpose. So walk boldly, not because you know all the answers, but because you are guided by the one who does. You are surrounded by unseen support, and you are stepping into a destiny that has already been secured in the heavens. As April 4th draws near, there is a holy alignment taking place. It's as though heaven is placing the final piece of the puzzle, and suddenly, what once felt disjointed now comes together with undeniable clarity. This is not just another season, it is your Kairos moment, your divine window of opportunity. It is the intersection of heaven's purpose and earth's timing, the exact moment when what was promised begins to manifest. You've waited, you've prayed, you've grown in the hidden places. Now the divine signal has been given. The door is opening, the light is shifting, and the timing, God's timing, is declaring that you are ready. This moment requires no striving. You don't need to force it. You only need to flow with it. The same God who brought you through the wilderness is now bringing you into fulfillment. The time you thought was lost was actually sacred preparation. The detours were divine training grounds. Every disappointment was heaven's protection over your destiny. So don't hesitate. Don't run. God's hand is on your life, and his timing is always perfect. When he says it's time, no force in hell or on earth can delay what he has ordained. This is your moment to rise, to move, to step fully into the calling that has been waiting for you all along. And now, all that's left for you to do is step into it with boldness, with faith, and with the certainty that heaven has gone before you. The time is here. Stand tall, step forward, shine bright, because the world needs you. Thank you for watching until the end. If this message stirred something in your spirit, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. Let this be your confirmation, and God has already equipped you. This is your divine moment. This is your rise. Blessings. There is something within you stirred. Something unseen called your spirit forward. This message has been waiting for you, and now so has your moment. You are not like the others. And deep down, you've always known this. You've walked through seasons where the world didn't make sense, where people spoke with forked tongues and smiled while hiding sharp intentions. You've trusted, only to be betrayed. You've stood alone, surrounded by crowds. You've stayed silent, not because you lacked words, but because you knew your voice was sacred. You are what the world calls different, but heaven calls you chosen. There's something about your presence, steady, calm, unwavering. Even in your quiet moments, the atmosphere shifts when you walk into a room. Not everyone understands it. Many fear it. Some will try to tame it. But what they don't realize is this: your power isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't plead. It simply is. And right now, unseen forces are moving. Some are drawn to your light. Others come to dim it. They will make you an offer. Sweet words, promises of comfort, success, a shortcut to your dreams. But I urge you, don't drink from that cup. Even if they beg, even if it's wrapped in beauty, dripping with desire, even if it looks like everything you've ever wanted, because hidden beneath that offer is a poison, one designed to weaken you, trap you, and steal your power in silence. And that is exactly what they want: your energy, your essence, your fire. But what they don't know is that you've already been refined by fire. Before we dive into this powerful message, do 3 things. Hit like, subscribe, and comment 11 to activate a divine signal in the universe. If you're truly a chosen one, your spirit already knows this is for you. Watch until the end. Not everyone will. But if you do, your life won't just change. It will transform forever. Let's begin. Part 1. The unseen power. The power of the chosen one is not loud. It's not adorned in flashing lights or cloaked in applause. It cannot be touched, measured, or defined by the limited vision of those who judge only what they can see. This power doesn't shine like gold. It hums like thunder beneath the skin, steady and constant, echoing in the depths of the soul. It lives in stillness. It breathes in silence. It grows in the shadows, away from the noise of the world. This is not a power that can be bought, broken, or borrowed. It is not taught or inherited. It is awakened. And once it rises within, it becomes eternal. It draws its strength from a sacred connection to truth, to purpose, and to something far greater than the superficial systems of men. They may try to copy your presence, mimic your words, your walk, your rhythm, but they cannot duplicate your essence. Because your power isn't in what you do, it's in who you are. Unmatchable, unshakable, unseen by the eye but felt by the spirit. The quieter you become, the louder your spirit begins to speak. The more you pull back, the more your energy fills the room. Because true power never demands attention, it commands it. And yours was not built in comfort, it was forged in fire. It flows from every wound you choose to heal. Every night you wept silently but chose to rise again. Every betrayal you endured without letting your heart grow cold. Every time you were overlooked, yet never stopped showing up. The world will never fully grasp what it cost you to become this steady, this grounded, this wise. But you remember, you carry the memory of the battles no one saw. That's why you no longer entertain the invitations to return to the places you've outgrown. They try to lure you back into cages that no longer fit you. But this time, the chains are softer, wrapped in compliments, hidden behind empty apologies. They call it care, call it love, call it loyalty, but you've learned to see what lies beneath the words. They speak peace, but they hide daggers in their smiles. And still, they beckon you to drink to accept their poison cup as if it were your salvation. But you know better now. You've tasted freedom, you've remembered who you are, and you will not lower your crown to dance with the deceiver. Because the moment you accept what was never meant for you, the moment you allow the wrong energy to enter your space, you surrender what is sacred. You give away the throne you were born to sit on. and that will never happen again. Because now you walk in knowing, you walk in clarity, you walk in the power that cannot be touched, the unseen force within you that moves mountains without a sound. Part 2. The mind games and silent wars temptation doesn't always enter with a snarl or a threat. Sometimes it slips in with a smile and soft words, whispering, "I just want to help you." It dresses itself in kindness, in false intimacy, in promises that sound too good to be true and often are. It speaks in tones of obligation, in familiar phrases like, "You owe me," or "Trust me," or "This is your big chance." But the chosen one has learned not to be swayed by noise. You've come to understand that volume is not truth, that flattery is not loyalty, and that those who speak the most often have the least to give. You no longer move by sound, you move by knowing. That inner compass, that gut instinct, that spiritual discernment sharpened through pain and practice, it guides your every step now. And through it, you've learned the hard and holy truth. Not all who clap are cheering for you. Not all who linger beside you are loyal. Not every hand that reaches for yours is meant to lift you up. And not all love is love. The mind games are subtle. Manipulation doesn't always come wrapped in malice. Sometimes it comes draped in concern. Betrayal often arrives with the sweetest kiss. But you, the chosen one, have grown wise. You've been burned enough times to stop reaching for the flame. Your spirit is alert, your heart discerning, your mind clear. You no longer mistake attention for affection or applause for acceptance. You've seen how quickly admiration turns to envy, how quickly praise turns into pressure. They may still try to ensnare you with compliments, with offers, with opportunities laced in compromise. They think you can be bought with status, distracted by applause, or softened by false affection. But they forget you've already walked through that fire. You've tasted the emptiness behind those bright promises. You know how it feels to be praised in public but targeted in private. You've seen the traps behind the smiles. So now you no longer chase what glitters because you've already found your gold, and it was never out there. It was always within you. That inner treasure, that quiet strength, that clarity of soul, that is your wealth, and it cannot be manipulated, measured, or mimicked. You've learned to sit in silence while others speak in circles. You've learned that some battles are fought not with swords but with silence, with stillness, with unwavering peace. You don't need to prove your value to those who never truly saw you. You don't need to argue with those who only pretend to care. You simply stand steady, whole, and wise. Because in a world full of performers, your truth has become your armor. And now the games no longer work for you. You've outgrown the illusions. You've outlasted the lies. You've won the silent war without ever raising your voice. Part 3. The armor of silence. There is a kind of power that doesn't roar, it whispers. It doesn't need an audience, it simply exists. That power is silence. And for the chosen one, silence is not just a pause between words, it is armor. It is a force so profound that it unsettles those who cannot access it. They try to provoke you, to draw you into arguments, to bait you into battle. But when you refuse to react, when you choose calm over chaos, you become untouchable. In a world that thrives on noise, constant opinions, endless debates, desperate cries for attention, your silence is rebellion. It is resistance. It is your quiet refusal to be controlled. They don't know what to do with it because they can't decode it. They can't manipulate what they can't predict. And your stillness? It exposes their noise for what it truly is, a mask for insecurity, a cover for emptiness. There was a time when you felt the need to explain yourself to prove your heart, your loyalty, your worth. But now you've learned. You've learned that some people aren't misunderstanding you by accident, they're committed to it. No explanation will ever satisfy someone who is determined not to hear you. So you stopped pouring your precious energy into empty conversations. You stopped handing your truth to those who would only twist it. Your energy is sacred, and you finally realize it's not meant to be scattered in chaos. You don't need to respond to every jab. You don't need to correct every lie. You don't need to validate your light for those who are blind to it. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them build their narratives, because your truth doesn't depend on their belief. Your path doesn't require their approval. You've stepped into a new level of strength, one where presence speaks louder than words. The chosen one doesn't chase validation, because their worth is not up for debate. They carry something deeper, a presence that shifts the atmosphere, a quiet authority that cannot be explained but is always felt. They don't announce who they are, they simply are. In your silence, you are doing something most people will never understand. You are building. Brick by invisible brick, you are constructing something unshakable within yourself. A fortress of peace, a tower of clarity, a kingdom of purpose. While others are busy making noise, you are making moves. Silent ones, steady ones, divine ones. You're not hiding, you're rising. And in this sacred stillness, your power is growing, multiplying, becoming unstoppable. Because the one who knows how to hold their peace knows how to protect their destiny. Part 4. The Hidden Serpent of Betrayal. Betrayal rarely announces itself. It doesn't come with thunder or flashing signs. More often, it slips in quietly, unnoticed, disguised as a friend, cloaked in trust, armed with soft words and practiced smiles. It doesn't look like danger, not at first. It looks like loyalty, like warmth, like someone who claps when you win, only to hope for your fall behind closed doors. But you, chosen one, have learned the language of betrayal. You've felt its sting not just once, but many times. You've held hands that later stabbed your back. You've stared into eyes that once sparkled with connection, only to watch them grow cold with calculation. You've heard promises break in the exact moment you needed them to hold. And still you didn't shatter. Still you stood. Because betrayal didn't destroy you, it awakened you. The pain carved wisdom into your soul. Every broken word, every false friend, every silent abandonment sharpened your vision. You no longer take people at face value. You listen to energy now, not just words. You've come to understand that not everyone who offers you a seat at the table is there to feed you. Some are only there to witness your collapse. Some want proximity to your light, not to honor it, but to dim it. So you've learned to guard your peace like a fortress. You don't build walls out of fear, you build boundaries out of truth. You still trust, but no longer blindly. You still love, but never without discernment. You give your heart, but only where it's safe to place it. The serpent no longer surprises you. You feel its presence before it strikes. You sense the shift in tone, the subtle change in energy, the misalignment hidden beneath their flattery. Your spirit speaks before words confirm the truth. And because of that, betrayal may still sting, but it no longer catches you unaware. You're not hardened, but you are refined. What once broke you now strengthens your resolve. What once left you shattered now leaves you standing taller. You see through the games now. The manipulation disguised as affection, the control masked as care, the envy lurking behind empty compliments. And while others still fall for the performance, you see the stage. You've grown wise in the fire, and with that wisdom comes peace. You no longer beg to be understood. You no longer explain your absence from tables where snakes dine. You walk away without needing to announce your exit, because true strength is not found in revenge, but in release. You don't need to get even, you simply rise. And that's what unsettles them most. Part 5. Your energy is sacred chosen. 1. Your energy is not ordinary, it is sacred currency. It is your most valuable asset, the unseen power you carry into every room, every conversation, every atmosphere. And whether you realize it or not, others feel it. They may not understand it, but they sense it. Your presence carries an undeniable weight. You are not here to carry the weight of those who refuse to rise. You are not responsible for the healing of those who won't even admit they're bleeding. You are a mirror, and the truth you reflect will always discomfort those living in denial. That discomfort, that resistance, it's not your burden. You were never meant to shrink so others could feel tall. You were never meant to dim your light to make others comfortable in their darkness. Let them be uncomfortable. Let your peace provoke them, because sometimes the presence of wholeness will feel like an offense to those still married to their wounds. Your energy is sacred, and sacred things must be protected, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Because what you carry isn't just for anyone. It is for those who come with clean hands, clear hearts, and honorable intentions. You've learned to stop giving the best of yourself to those who only show up with empty cups. Now you pour into yourself first. Now you protect your power, and in doing so, you shine brighter not because the world gave you permission, but because you finally did. Part 6. Discernment is your superpower. You carry a knowing that never sleeps. You feel what others overlook. You notice the energy behind the words, the tension beneath the surface, the intention hidden behind the smile. You don't just listen to what people say, you listen to what their spirit is really saying. You read energy more fluently than you read language. You feel the shift in atmosphere before anyone else does. And no, this isn't a curse, it's your gift, a divine compass embedded within your soul, a sacred shield that protects what your eyes can't see. This gift has saved you time and time again. It shows you the motives behind the masks. It reveals the truth dressed in disguise. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It says, wait, step back, be still. Something here isn't right. And you've learned to trust it, because every time you've ignored it, pain follows. Every time you silence that quiet inner voice in favor of appearances or logic or pressure, you found yourself paying a price. But now you've stopped second-guessing it. You've seen too much. You've walked through too many false friendships, too many veiled manipulations, too many almosts and not quites to keep pretending you don't feel what you feel. You've learned to observe without reacting, to check the fruit, not just the words, because talk is cheap, but energy never lies. They can fake charm, they can rehearse empathy, they can master the right phrases, wear the right expressions, and play the role convincingly. But no one can fake energy. You've become so attuned to it, so rooted in your knowing, that even the most carefully crafted performance can't fool you anymore. You see the patterns, you sense the desperation behind the praise. You feel jealousy wrapped in compliments. And because of that, you move differently. You don't just walk into a room anymore, you scan it. You don't just connect with people, you discern them. You are no longer available for anything that feels forced, fake, or misaligned. Because now you trust your gift. And as you continue to honor it, you'll find that it honors you in return, guiding you, protecting you, and aligning you with what's truly meant for your spirit. Part 7. The art of emotional distance. Some will look at you and say you've grown cold. Others will whisper that you've become prideful, distant, perhaps even heartless. But what they don't realize is that your emotional distance is not a product of arrogance. It is the fruit of wisdom, born from pain. It is self-respect, lived out. You didn't wake up one day and decide to pull away from the world. No, you were pushed there. By experiences, by betrayals, by giving too much to people who only knew how to take. You've been burned enough times to know that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Not everyone should be allowed into the sacred space of your heart. And now you understand that protecting that space is not selfish. It's survival. Love does not require you to surrender your peace. True compassion does not ask you to tear down your boundaries. And loyalty, it should never cost you your well-being. You've walked through relationships that demanded your energy, but never offered replenishment. You've poured your soul into connections that were only deep enough to drown you. So now you've learned. You've mastered the art of protecting your heart not by building walls that keep everyone out, but by becoming selective about who you open the door to. You no longer allow everyone to enter. Access must be earned. Trust must be built. Presence must be proven. You can love someone deeply and still not allow them to destroy you. You can forgive someone fully and still decide that closeness is no longer safe. This emotional distance you've embraced is not isolation. It is discernment in action. It is clarity wrapped in calm. It is knowing the value of your own peace and choosing not to trade it for chaos disguised as connection. While others chase comfort in closeness, You've found your strength in solitude. You've realized that it's better to walk alone in alignment than to walk with company that pulls you out of your truth. The old version of you would have stayed, explained, bent yourself to keep the peace. But this version honors peace by not inviting war in the first place. There is nothing cold about preserving your spirit. There is nothing prideful about setting boundaries that protect your healing. Emotional distance isn't the absence of love, it's the presence of self-awareness. You've simply outgrown the need to be understood by everyone. And now you no longer sacrifice your inner sanctuary for temporary companionship. This distance you've created, it's a sacred filter. It shields your heart, preserves your mind, and protects your purpose. Because not everyone who wants to walk with you is meant to. And not everyone who loves you knows how to honor you. So now, you choose wisely with eyes open and heart guarded, not out of fear, but out of deep, hard-earned love for yourself. Now you rise, not with noise, not with vengeance, but with clarity. No one sees it coming. They underestimate what silence can build. They forget that still waters run deep, and when they move with force. You've let go of the need to explain, to convince, to beg people to see your value. You no longer chase doors. You build gates. You no longer wait for permission. You step into position. And from this place, grounded, clear, untouchable, you begin to command your reality. Not by striving, but by standing. Not by fighting, but by flowing. This is your power. Thank you for watching until the very end. See you in the next video, chosen one.